So Mark, do you believe that everybody can sing, even if they think they can't?
Yes, I believe that absolutely everyone can sing. I think in this life we are born with the innate ability to create long, sustained tones. When we come out of the womb, we are not given the ability to articulate word. So I think the cry is something that is most definitely singing. So it's singing from the time you get out of the womb. I have a 10-month-old. And he can quite clearly communicate through his cry how he feels. So sometimes it's a different pitch, it's a lower pitch, or it's a higher pitch, or it's a pitch which has a little bit more urgency to it. So there is definitely something within us that is the ability to sing.
So if people are wanting to sing, but feel that they can't, that they haven't got self-confidence, the ability, what would you say to them?
I think you shouldn't ever take yourself too seriously. When it comes to singing, it is just a thing of opening your mouth and letting some sounds out. And so I think everyone should get themselves involved in something that is completely fun, you know, a choir or a group or anything like that that is just fun, and go down and have a really good time and just try it out. You know, don't take yourself so seriously, because kids, youngsters, they don't take themselves seriously, and they're singing up and down the houses and running around all the time. And that is what develops within you, this singing ability.
And singing's really good for us, isn't it?
Singing is incredible for us. Breathing. When we breathe for life, we use up to about maybe 35 to 40% of the lung capacity. But when we sing, we're using up to 95% of it. And that's great for our health benefits, because it clears more of the toxins out of our blood and out of our bodies. And so singing actually makes us feel better. It releases all of these incredible feelings throughout our bodies, and also, from a health point of view, it just makes us more healthy.
Yes. And so anybody that wants to join a choir, if they're going through an audition process, for example, and supposing in that choir they were told, no, you won't make it in this choir. I mean, that's a huge slap to somebody's self-esteem, isn't it?
It is. I mean, none of my choirs are audition choirs. Okay, I don't believe in auditioning, because I believe everybody has a voice and everybody can sing. So if you've been told that, don't give up hope. There are choirs out there that don't require you to audition, where you can just turn up and sing. And so my thing is, if you believe there's something inside you that you want to say and express through singing, get yourself to a choir that doesn't audition and start doing it. I've had people who have come into my choirs who didn't have the most amazing voices. Yeah, some of them were even ever so slightly tone deaf, right? But over time, because they're singing with so many people, that tone deafness kind of starts to disappear, and all of a sudden they have this voice which they're able to pitch well, they're able to sing with volume, they're able to sing with a level of emotional connection, and it just starts to work. So get yourselves involved in the choir, it's the best place for you.
So can you define what tone deafness is?
Tone deafness has been misdiagnosed for many years. It's seen as a deafness, but actually it isn't. It has nothing to do with the ears. It is more about the recreation of tone. I did a massive study some years ago on tone deafness, and the subjects that I picked all tended to be first children. So these are people who I spoke to, and we did a little bit of work, and we tried to see if they could pitch things, and they couldn't. But they all seemed to be first children, and my idea was that these kids were told to be quiet a lot. So they didn't ever really develop a massive range in terms of singing. So they had a really short range of maybe about 4 or 5 notes. And so when you ask them to sing a note that they sense is high, they go to the highest note in their range, which may only be 4 or 5 notes. And you ask them to sing something that's low, which they perceive as low, they go to the lowest note. So they only have a short range. And that is what I concluded was tone deafness.
So does tone deafness exist the world over?
No, not at all. We found in various studies that in Africa, in the villages especially, tone deafness doesn't exist at all. You know, there's not one case ever in their history that tone deafness exists, and that is because when the family wakes up, they worship, and they worship with song. When the fathers go out to the field, they go out with a song, and they work in the field to song. When the kids go to school, they go to school with a song and sing at school. You see where I'm going?
Yes.
The mothers, they stay at home and they work in the home and they sing. And when they get back together, they sing together as well. And so there is no evidence of tone deafness, because they are using their voices not only to speak, but also to sing. In this Western world, we probably use our voices 90% of the time to speak. and 10% of the time to sing. And that's for the people who consider themselves singers, not professional singers, but people who go to choirs and sing in groups. But if you think, the people who work in the offices, they're singing even less, so they speak 99% of the time and might sing or yawn and make a long sustained tone, right, for 1% of the time. But in Africa, it's probably the other way around. They sing more, 75%, than they talk, 25%. And so for me, it's important that within this Western world, we raise the level of singing because it does so much for us. Obviously, it keeps us in pitch, which is great, but also, as we've spoken about before, health benefits, making us feel good, raising our mood, and just putting us as human beings in a far better place.
So if somebody has a really low mood or even depression, how can singing help them, give them a boost?
Singing will give anybody with a low mood a boost because it's such a release. I equate this to football supporters that go and they sing for 90 minutes plus, then cheer their team on, and it is so euphoric. It's so engaging. It's so life-changing. And so I always encourage people, if you're in that state, that you've got to get yourself singing something that is inspirational, something that is uplifting, something that is going to lift you to that place where you feel like, nothing else in the world. And singing does that. Just think, if you could go out into the middle of a park and just scream, how would that feel? Try it. Get out there into the middle of a park where there is nobody and just scream and scream your lungs out and see how that feels. And that is the same as singing. If you can sing a song at the top of your voice, a song that is uplifting, a song that is inspirational, that is just going to lift your mood and take you to a higher place.
Thank you.